On this episode of the Carolina Sports Guy, folks, I just kind of want to do a year-end. I wouldn't say review, but really just want to kind of say, with the Panthers finishing up this last game against Tampa Bay, Week 18, where do the Carolina Panthers go from here, entering the 2022-2023 season? Before we get into today's video, make sure you subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. Pound that like button. Hit that bell notification, be notified of future videos on the Panthers. Hey, and by all means, folks, leave me some comments. I sure do love the dialogue. All right, folks. Yeah, if you notice and look, I'm wearing a Charlotte Hornets jersey. LaMelo Ball, as a matter of fact. And kind of did that on purpose. I wear Panther gear all the time, especially during all my videos with the Panthers and even some in the college football and even did some, I think, with the Hornets. As the season ends and we're putting it to bed, and it has been a terrible season, I thought kind of would take a video, and I'll probably do more than one of these, but I want to get my early take and put it in of what needs to change, what we need to get rid of, who we need to maybe keep, and just some things that we need to clean house for, or just the state of the franchise, where we are right now. And I thought, since we're ending this season before we get ready for, the draft order, and start looking at draft position and mock drafts, and start to look at, combine, and start to look at NFL free agency and who we're going to lose and who we're going to franchise tag, who we're going to get rid of on the coaching staff, and, is Matt Rule going to stay? I thought, what better way than to let this season die out, and I go ahead and we'll wear Hornet gear. Now, I do wear a lot of Hurricane gear during the Hurricane broadcast that I do when I do an episode of them. I don't wear much Hornet gear. I don't have a lot of Hornet gear, but I do wear a couple of shirts or jerseys. But I did want to wear my new Hornet jersey because it's kind of ushering out the Panther season being over. And we can look forward to the Hurricanes and hopefully the Hornets, as they did beat Detroit tonight, or by the time you see this, a couple of days ago. But I just wanted to kind of break it in. Now, I kind of want to look at our team. And let's start with coaching. Matt Rule is going to be back. That's 50-50. I mean, David Tepper, you never know. If I had to put money on it right now, I'd say Matt Rule's back. And that's because I don't see a candidate out there right now who has kind of put their hand up that I'll take that job that would sway Tepper into the losing Rule. I don't think Tepper is gone until Rule. I don't think Rule is gone until Tepper and Fitterer basically can find someone that they feel this is the guy. We got to go after him. Then they can do it. Does that mean I don't think they're going to fire him? I don't see Rule being fired. I think he's going to get one more year. But stranger things have happened. I never saw Jerry Richardson get rid of David Gettleman after the draft, before training camp started, but it happened when he brought back Hurney. So it could happen, but I think he'll be here. Now, let's kind of look at the big ugliness that's in the closet, and that's our offensive line. We brought Pat Elflein in. It's not been good. Spot duty at some center. One thing I can say is Matt Paradis is probably gone, and it's time. I know he's been on injured reserve. He's got to go. John Miller, you got to go. Just looking at a couple other people. Trent Scott, I hadn't seen much from you. Michael Jordan, we got from the Bengals after he got cut. Got to go. I'm hoping Deontay Brown gets his shot, because he really hasn't had a shot. And I don't know what the situation is there, but give the man a shot. Brady Christensen, start him at left tackle. He's looked better than others. Cam Irvin, you got to go. You got to go. So Taylor Moton, Brady Christensen, maybe Deontay Brown, they look like keepers. We got to go into this draft. Well, free agency, first of all, we need to find a guard or a center. There's no doubt about it. You got to find, even if you find a guard that's middle range and you think you can bring him in at a good price, got to improve it. Center is really something we need to concentrate on, and I think maybe we might have to hit it in the draft, but we've got to really, in my opinion, hit those positions. Now, in the draft, there's no doubt about it. If we're drafting at 4, 5, or 6, we could draft as high as 4. I think if we lose, this game against Tampa is a loss, that we're probably going to stick at 6. We could move to 5. If we have the big offensive tackle from NC State that's going to be there, maybe we take him at 6. But it's a good chance there's some offensive tackle needy teams ahead of us. Jacksonville, the Giants, they can take that offensive tackle. So what are we going to do? I don't think we need to pull the trigger and draft a quarterback. Now, at least not in the first round. Since we don't have a second-round pick, I have no problem if we get in the third round and a guy like Malik Willis at Liberty is there. Or, if a Sam Howell's there, maybe. Hey, I don't have a problem if we get the kid from I'm trying to think of the guy from Wake Forest. And it's kind of skipped my mind right now. But if we get a kid like that, if he comes out, we've got to take a gamble if we can find one in the third or fourth round. But I just don't know if we'll have that there. And, losing the second round pick, Sam Darnold's going to be back. $18 million, if the line's better, maybe he'd have a little bit more confidence. Now, seeing Sam Darnold being back, I don't think Cam Newton is. I hope Cam, if by the time you see the video and the Tampa Bay game is over, I'm hoping at least Cam did get to score a rushing touchdown to end his career as a Panther. I don't think he's going to be brought back. I don't even know if another team is going to bring him back. But at least if we don't win this game against Tampa, I would love to see Cam pad his stats and get at least one rushing touchdown, if not a passing touchdown. But the good thing about this is even if Cam doesn't score, doesn't have a good game, or barely gets in this game and Darnold starts, it's a good way for Tepper and company, since we don't have to re-sign him, to at least let this man walk out of Charlotte in the Carolinas with dignity and not egg on his face. Do a nice little ceremony, do a nice little video, thank him for all he did. Because remember, we brought him halfway through the season, folks, with a new coordinator, new head coach, new playbook, didn't have anything but training camp with New England, no regular season conditioning. He comes off the couch with a good attitude because of what he thought about the Panthers organization, what he thought about the city of Charlotte, the Carolinas, and just playing for this team and the fans. And that to me, you Cam Newton haters, or if you're a Cam Newton lover like me, that to me should be reason why you take your hat off, you take your jersey off, and you swing it around in pride and give Cam Newton his due. Because even if he is not the same Cam Newton, and even if he has struggled, he did not cost us these games as much as it was the offensive line or poor coaching, or we just didn't have enough on defense, or whatever it may be. But he gave it his all. And he's always played for the fans of this team. And he should be at least held in high regard for that. So I do hope that regardless of what happens, if Cam Newton, which probably 95% is probably going to be let go when the season's done, at least let him walk out of here with some dignity. Do it right, Tepper. Do it right. Receivers. Is DJ Moore coming back? Do we franchise tag him? I hate to see him walk. He is good to a point. Maybe we shouldn't have extended Robbie Anderson. Terrence Marshall Jr., Shi Smith, they haven't turned out as good as what we thought they were going to be their rookie year. Maybe they'll grow. But, tight end, Tommy Tremble's there. I think Ian Thomas is gone. Running back, CMC, can he ever stay healthy? That's going to be a question. Chuba Hubbard, can he get better? We finally got a kicker. We get him off the IRS. Zane Gonzalez has finally showed his worth. Defensively, I think Dante Jackson's gone. I think he's history. I'd like to bring back Gilmore. We gave up some draft capital, and I'd like to bring him back. But we do have a C.J. Henderson. We do have a J.C. Horn. I would like to draft at least a safety in this coming draft. Somewhere in there, find a safety. We need one. Chin can play it, but the other safety is not hitting much. But the biggest position of need, other than offensive tackle, in my opinion, and a center, and maybe another guard, the biggest position in need is on defense, is a linebacker. I don't have a problem with Shaq Thompson. Jermaine Carter, you got to go. We've got to bring somebody in to play linebacker. You've got to have one. Like I said, a safety would help. Now, as far as the defensive line, I know we could end up losing a guy. Frankie Louvu kind of plays an end, plays a linebacker. I'd love to bring him back. Definitely think Hassan Reddick's worth bringing back if we can. We got to start looking at Brian Burns long term. You tore Gross Matos. What have you done? We're probably going to lose a guy like Marquise Haynes. But we've got to strengthen that line some kind of way, but we can at least maybe keep the pieces together. If we can keep Reddick, maybe Louvu, at least keep one of the two. We can do that. Now, coaching staff, got to bring in an offensive-minded coordinator, folks. Rule's got to do that. He's on a hot seat. I don't know if Phil Snow needs to be back, but I think as long as Rule's here, he will be back. But we've got to start doing this. This is the time Scott Fitterer has got to silently take the reins from Matt Rule. And it's kind of hard to do because Matt Rule loves control. But Fitterer's got to find a way that when Matt Rule puts those reins down, he can grab them quick and drive this horse. He's got to. Tepper's got his hands full with the soccer team starting, but he's got to start looking at this team. When do we fire Matt Rule? Or who do we get to replace him? When is it going to be done? What are we going to do, other coordinators wise and coaches? And what are we going to do free agency? What are we going to do in the draft? How can you repair this franchise and some of the damage that has been done by some of the decisions that have been made by this team? Because right now, people think we are a clown show. Right now, outside of the Carolinas, nobody gives a shit about the Panthers. But I'm a Panther fan. I don't give a damn about Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay. And believe me, I'm surrounded by them. Everywhere you go, Green Bay fans. I'm not from Wisconsin. I don't want to go to Wisconsin. I don't want to be 300 pounds and overweight and a hairy chest. And they bring their husbands to the game. I'm not impressed. Just because they had that tradition from the 60s. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with New Orleans. I'm not impressed with Atlanta or any of the New York franchises or Dallas or Washington, the no names, or whoever. I'm a Carolina fan. And maybe the rest of the country doesn't give a shit, but we can get back to a level one day like we had with Cam and Luke, and we had a franchise on the rise, and people tuned in and watched. We were must-see TV. We got to get back there, because damn if I want to be Jacksonville Part 2, or the Jets Part 2, or the Detroit Lions. This franchise has a prouder history than that, and we've got to find a way to turn this thing around. It starts when the season ends, cleaning the house of some coaches maybe, getting rid of some players, bringing some free agents in, getting a good draft, bringing the right people in. We got to start with this offensive line. A tackle, a center, another guard. We got to hit it right. We got to suffer with the quarterback right now and do Cam right when he leaves. Folks, you got to have a linebacker on defense and probably a safety. Okay, folks, what do you think of today's video? What would you do to change the Panthers for 2022, 2023? Leave me some comments. I love the dialogue. Pound that like button. Hit that bell notification to be notified of future videos like this on the Panthers. And by all means, folks, subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. Help Uncle Chunky out. It's free. I will see you next time on another episode of Carolina Sports Guy.